turn on a light in here. Whenever you're ready.
Is it on now, Tom?
It's on now. You just talk to me.
What do you want me to say?
Whatever you want to say. Tell me about the first night, what you remember when they first got together.
Okay.
You can just look at me. Forget about the camera.
I remember, when you kids were dating and everything, those days. Laying there awake, wondering when Ginny was getting home. This might have been midnight or something like that. Maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. Not very late. Maybe a dance at St. Mary's. Or, a teeny bopper. Friday night special or something. She just, how are you, honey, and all this. She was kind of hanging back, tell something was doing. She said, I met this boy, nice guy. His name is Lawrence.
Lawrence.
I think that's what name she used, Larry.
Right.
And he was tall and all this and that. He was quite enthusiastic about it, which was quite. Should I look more at the?
No, you look at me. Just look at me. Just keep talking. You're doing a great job.
And it progressed from there. And we, of course, got introduced to Larry, and Larry introduced to us by Jen. And, within a week or two, next Saturday or whatever, they were still very casual, dating or whatever. But I don't know how casual he may have been, but these were Friday night or whatever, weekly events, social nights at St. Mary's High School.
Now, didn't you say earlier what was the Barb and what was that guy?
And the second thing we heard of was his closest friend was this guy Mike, some Italian name. Jenny introduced him to Barbara Cleary, her buddy, who, and he ended by dating Barbara, and they would double date the 4 of them, and did so, movies and the like, from there on.
Do you remember any sports that Larry was into?
Bowling and basketball, primarily. Always available for discussion on games of the, not future, but that's major league activity. And I was trying to think who else other than Barbara Cleary. She's the only one of the old high school friends that I remember, the only name I really remember.
Well, she was the main one. She was around the block.
Yeah, the next block over in Port Washington. Susan Hoover.
What about their wedding 40 years ago?
40 years. Well, I think it's great that they have accomplished all that they have in their lives. And Mildred, while she was still around, and even after Mildred's passing on, they've weathered all that quite well. And they've always had us in mind, me particularly, I guess, in the recent years. And helping Mommy in those days, who unfortunately couldn't stay away from partying, other activities, smoking and drinking, which hastened her, I think, too early in life to pass away. But we've tried to keep the family all together ever since, and it actually has not been hard to do, but it's been very rewarding from all of you, primarily from you individually, Steve, and Larry, and Ginny, and Rich, Sue, and hold it.
What about the wedding? Tell us about the wedding.
Well, the wedding was a big production, as you may recall, and
Do you remember where it was?
much planning and so on. I remember it was in St. William. No, what was that?
Well, it was at St. Peter's, but
St. Peter's Church.
wasn't it the country club over by the Swan Lake? What was the name of it? Renaissance? Renaissance Country Club, wasn't that it? Over in Roslyn?
I don't even remember the name. I could.
Who picked it?
Ginny
Ginny?
Larry. No, we, great thought to how many guests we could have.
Right. There's always that.
But, and the bridal gown and everything, it was a big production. Very comprehensive.
How about Kate and David when they lived up in Yorktown with you guys? When you were in Connecticut, weren't they close by, Kate and David,
yes,
when they were
sure,
first?
Sure. Actually, kind of.
You want to get measured?
I forget who introduced whom to the area, but on the car ride, talking of moving to Connecticut, that's the area we felt we should live in. And I'm glad we picked what we did. I loved that house up in Peaceable Ridge.
Right.
You recall that?
Yeah, I do. I remember it. Lots of nice parties.
How old were you when we...
I had just graduated from college, so that was like in the early 80s you moved there, right after I graduated from college.
College?
Right.
Where did we live when you were at school?
At William and Mary, I lived in Port Washington.
Okay. No, I have many pleasant memories about Port Washington.
Of course you do.
No, I'm glad we all do.
Yeah.
We still are in touch with Joan Bassett.
Is that right?
Not recently, but she always calls me on my birthday.
That's great.
She's doing well. She's
Right.
has a big flock of grandchildren herself.
Tell me about Kate and David.
Kate and David, they're fine. They're very high on my list of interested and closely related family. You can always count on them for support and guidance in anything we're doing.
Any stories you remember about them as kids? Any crazy thing either one of them did in the pool?
Not crazy. You were probably more involved in the crazy things than they. But
Sorry about that.
no, the pool to me was a very pleasant pain in the neck at the time, cleaning and all the rest of it, but not a big expense, but worth every penny of it. No regrets on the pool. How about things like a little dinky, where do we marry? And someone had a little dinky 8-foot
like a rowboat. There's pictures of a rowboat
Yeah,
in that
just
pool. It
all-
looked kind of stupid, actually.
Everybody was astounded that we couldn't even. It was just a fun thing to play with in the pool. In
It
addition
was.
in addition to mattresses and things like that. Pool to me was a pain in the neck, keeping it clean and up to snuff. But it was sure great to have at the back door,
Right.
even when I had to.
Very popular with the grandchildren.
Well, it was great with the kids, and on occasion, some of Rich's parties, we ran off the porch roof and jumped off that roof
I can't go there.
into the pool.
I can't go there. Any stories about Ginny and Larry you want to remember on their 40th anniversary?
No, I just wish them the best of luck and love and everything, and thank them for all they've done for me, for Judy and I, as well as me alone without Mom and so on. And it's been an interesting life, and I spent much time thinking about it and reflecting on happy days at Hampton Bays, Hampy Bays, as Judy calls it, and elsewhere. I can't think of. I was thinking of other friends of Larry's that we knew through him. Who was your friend?
Well, my friend was Tom Reardon at
Reardon,
Chaminade.
that's right, Tom. And
Larry's friend, well, they were a little bit older. Joe LaPresti was the one I remember.
I don't remember that name.
Right,
either.
but Mike you remember. I can't remember exactly his last name. Santinello, I think it was.
An Italian name, something like that, yeah.
Yes.
Don't know whatever happened to him. I don't think Larry sees him anymore.
I don't know. That's up to Ginny and Larry. I don't know.
Maybe I ought to find out.
Well, we'll have to ask them. How about Mildred? She was something.
She was something else. She was very interesting and interested in everything we all did together. And once we got to know her and understand her, it was very pleasant. I'm sorry for her life. I don't think that was a very happy one.
I think in the end it was very happy. She had her kids. She was very proud of her grandchildren.
Yep,
Very proud of
yep.
Ginny and Larry.
Well, that's it.
Always good to us.
I'm sure they were very good to her, just as they were to us, me. But it astounds me that I reflect on Grandma, my mother, and I have trouble remembering where Jean was in this continuity of people.
Well, Ginny and Larry, it's 40 years, so they got married in 1974.
Right,
You were living in Port Washington then.
right.
You moved to Connecticut in like 1980.
That's right.
That's roughly 35 years ago. And Mom, Jean, died in roughly 96. So that's almost 30 years ago.
Yep.
And then in 97 you moved to New Jersey, and in 98 you met Judy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when did you move down here to Medford? 2006, right? I think that's right. Maybe a little sooner. So you've been here at Medford for about 10 years.
10 years.
Still kicking.
Well, we went, our first move into this area was at your suggestion. That's when we palled around with Helen and Molly O'Connor for
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years.
up in Rossmore.
And
You almost moved
right.
down to Doylestown. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Near Ginny and Larry.
Right. That would have been good.
No, then you got it in your head to move to New Jersey.
Well, that was only after you guys were all settling down.
Well, it made sense to be in the middle, right in the middle of everybody.
No regrets about that.
No, it was all good.
I love that house on Peaceable Ridge, though. It was a stretch financially. It many times was very apprehensive about the whole thing, but absolutely very glad we did it. I hope it was enjoyed by you guys growing up as much as we enjoyed it.
We loved that house. I remember Ginny and Larry's wedding. That was a nice...
Yeah.
Was it in the night or during the day?
The wedding was
Yeah.
during the day.
Right?
It went on into the night.
Right.
I remember one time particularly, and I forget what this was, we would do back at our house. It was, had been some thunderstorms or something, and we were all out partying together with Joe Conroy and Jack Lennon, that's Marion and Pa's friends. And they were back at our house, standing on the little front porch there
Right.
to get out of the rain. No one had a key to the house.
Is that right?
And we finally, I guess, I don't know, whether we were the last, they were all there, falling off the porch. I mean, just absolutely, the subway standing in under the little, the porch was only about 3 by 5 feet.
I don't remember that.
Well, you were not actively involved in that.
No, I don't remember that. How about Shut Up and Eat Your Hot Dog? Do you remember that story, or you only remember it because we retell it?
Well, on occasion we had trouble with dinner.
What?
You know, there were a few years in there when our dinner time was rather hectic. I loved having you kids around from A to Z in age and everything. And it was really, really marvelous. A lot of pleasant memories. Very, very much so. Very proud of you all and your achievements in school and Jenny's singing and everything. I miss that, particularly the various choral type associations she's had before, and I don't know how many she still does have. I know she has some, but we could always count on a good performance with the lead singer, soloist, high soprano, shrill voice, many octaves higher than I could ever get to.
And me too.
Yes. But that was those days of me attending Mass with you all and everything were very, very memorable.
You never joined the church, though.
No, I somehow managed to avoid it or stay clear of it. Or,
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
well, I don't know. I have no regrets about it whatsoever.
No regrets.
And I hope there were none as far as you guys are concerned. But I think there's nothing I would do over differently.
Well, that's a good thing to say when you're 88.
88. God, can't believe that. Well, please keep me and keep us in mind as these years pile up here. It's to me that it's always a birthday, an anniversary, or waiting for a little burst of activity with future great-grandchildren.
Well, now you've gone into a whole nother different area. We're working on it.
You're working on it?
Well, there's nothing I can do.
I can't quite imagine you a grandfather. But
Well, I can't imagine myself a grandfather either, but you never know.
you never do know.
Do you remember the first time you were a grandfather? I remember when I called to tell you that Annie was born, I spoke to Mom. I said, "Hello, Grandma." She said, "I'm not, that's not me." I said, "Hello, Grandma." It's only the third time through that she finally got it.
Slowly pick her. She's probably half asleep
Maybe
on the
so.
phone if you call her
Maybe so.
during the night. That's really... I'll probably think of things maybe between now and the date this goes to press that I'd like to add to this, if so.
Right? You let me know. But you want to turn it off now?
Yeah, I think so.
Anything else you want to say in closing?
God bless America.
There you go.
Full speed ahead. May all go well.